Okay, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
Mataji.
Mataji. Okay. Hare Krishna. I welcome all to this morning session of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Please accept my humble obeisances and bless me so that I speak the right words in the right mode for the pleasure of the Lord, for the satisfaction of my Guru, and for my own purification. After a long time, it is really, I feel blessed to be back in association of very sincere devotees on the ICF platform. I see that earlier we would have Anusuya Mataji and Vasudha Mataji, right? Who were always with their hands raised. They are missing today. Hope all well. And so back with when I left, it was the 9th or the 10th chapter. So when I resumed, it is the 13th chapter. So, yes. So today we are in the 13th chapter, the appearance of Lord Varaha. So we saw that how we understood the creation, the sarga, the visarga. I can hear some sound of chop.
Yeah, Mataji, now you can only do it because you are the host.
Okay.
Shanti Mataji, mute your mic, Mataji, please.
Okay. Yeah. So we understood the Visarga, the creation, and then how for to populate the material world. First, the four Kumaras were created, but on their refusal, the anger of Lord Brahma, Rudra, and from Rudra, when it was seen that the Rudras were creating some problem, then we see that from the body of Lord Brahma came out the male and the female, that is Manu and his wife Satrupa. Satrupa. It is Satrupa, Shatrupa. Yeah. So we and then so when Swayambhuva Manu and Shatrupa was created, Manu immediately he asked his father, right? He first he pays obeisances and then he tells his father, "Oh father, you are the father of all the living entities. You are the source of all their sustenance. So now you please instruct me how I can serve you by acting to our capacity and thus get fame in this life and a superior destination in the next life." So here we see that how Swayambhuva Manu was ready to accept the orders of his father, wherein previously we saw that how the four Kumaras, though they were given instruction by Lord Brahma to procreate, but then they refused for a higher purpose. Right? They did not want to get entangled in this material world. They want to be always in the spiritual mode. So seeing the seva bhav of Swayambhuva Manu, Lord Brahma was very satisfied. Right. So here it is earlier Lord Brahma was mortified when his previous four sons Kumaras they disobeyed the instruction. And now the obedience of Manu was very encouraging. And thus he appreciated Manu as the ideal son. Isn't it? When somebody obeys us, we are very that person. When somebody disobeys, we are very and we are not happy with it. Right? So here seeing the obedience, seeing the culture, the of Swayambhuva Manu, Lord Brahma was very pleased and he blesses him. How? He says that all blessing unto you, Swasti Stad. I am pleased with you because of your surrender. Here, it is the surrender that was which attracted Brahma, the characteristic of Swayambhuva Manu. And this is one of the factors which is always said that in the spiritual path, we have always be surrendered to accept the instructions by the spiritual master, who is none other than the representative of the Supreme Lord. And here his surrender was without any reservation. Very important word, nirvya likena hridha. That is without any reservation. There was no barter system that you give me that. No, it was without any expectation. He was ready to accept that instruction. So Brahma says that, O hero, Veera, O sane person, apramittaha, you are beyond envy, gata matsare, and adores and accepts the instruction of the superior, appara chittir gaura, and with great delight, sadharam, and executes it to its full capacity. He was asking that, let me instruct me so that I can follow your instructions to the full capacity. So he was ready. He was not envious, right? He was surrendered and he did not have any reservation. This is the quality of a great devotee. And we have also to practice. It is said that this envy is one thing that which is there with us throughout, and it is our greatest impediment along the path of the spiritual life. So, and it is always said that this knowledge can be understood only by the non-envious person. So here it is said that Brahma is appreciating Swayambhuva Manu, that you are Gata, you are beyond the envy, you are without any reservation, Nirvyalikena, and then you are Atma Arpitam, you are surrendered. So I bless you. Further, we will ask, what are the instructions given by Lord Brahma to Swayambhuva Manu? So we go ahead with, yes, Prashanti Mataji, you can recite.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Pranam.
Sattvam asyam apatyani sadrisani atmano gunai utpadya sasha dharmena gamyagnai purusham yaja. Translation.
We can ask somebody else also,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Chandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, it is not visible on the screen.
Is it? It is visible.
I think so. It is. I don't know if it is only for me.
1 minute, Mataji, let me check.
Translation is visible, Mataji.
Translation is visible, Mataji.
Okay, then I will read it from my book, Mataji.
Okay.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Since you are my very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife. Rule the world in pursuance of the principles of devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus worship the Lord by performance of yajna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat
Pranam. So here we see that Lord Brahma has given Swayambhuva Manu three instructions, right? But because why he gave the instruction, he was surrendered, he was ready to accept the instruction and follow it. So first he said that, get from the verses we can understand. He said that Satvam Ashyam Apatyani. From with the union with your wife, get children. And these children should be Sadarshani Atmano Guner. They should have the quality same as like yours. So since you are my very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife. So what were the characteristics of Swayambhuva Manu that was praised by Lord Brahma?
Obedience.
Obedience. Okay. Then in the 9th and the 10th, by blessing, showering him the blessings, what did he say? What was those characteristics which helped,
non-envious.
He was non-envious.
No
Yes.
reservation.
No reservation. He was surrendered. Right?
Without envy, Mataji.
Surrender.
Yes. He was surrendered. So these were the ways few qualities. So he said that you are very obedient. So I give you the instruction that you get children, you populate this material world with the children characteristic of your quality. And then that is what is utpadya, you procreate. Then sasha dharmenagam, then you rule this material world with the dharma, with the principles of devotional service. as it is mentioned here. And then yagne purusham yaja, and you offer sacrifice unto me. Worship me as a sacrifice. So these are the three instructions which Lord Brahma gives Swayambhuva Manu. First he said that you get children. You beget children with qualities as like yourself. Rule the world in pursuance with the principles of devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worship the Lord by the performance of yajna. So these are the three instructions. So Prabhupada says that we understand from this what is the purpose of material creation, isn't it? Brahma, he made the he got the responsibility of secondary creation. Right? In the 12th chapter, we read about all the various creations made by Lord Brahma. So after that, to populate this material world, he created first Kumaras, the Rudras, the Prajapatis, the Swayambhuva Manu, and the Shatrupa. So he said that he did not say that, yeah, this is the material world, go and enjoy. No. What did he say? That you have created this material world, you populate this material world, you get the children, and it is your responsibility to get the children of your quality, means they should be Krishna consciousness, and then you worship, and all your activities, you rule the world. That is, as a king, his responsibility is ruling, right? You rule the world with the principles of devotional service. That is, all the activities that we do should be in pursuance with the principles of the devotional service. That is, we should please the Lord and then worship the Lord by performance of yajna. So these are the three instructions from which we have to understand that this material world has been made not for our sense gratification. It has been made for our purification and to go back to Godhead. So how do we purify ourselves? By following the principles of devotional service and by worshipping the Lord by the performance of yajna. Okay, so that is what. So we understood what is the purpose of the creation from the purport, and then it is said that worship the Lord by the performance of yajna. So let us understand how Lord Srila Prabhupada is to us. How can we do the worship initially? So here it is said that every human being should beget nice children in the womb of his wife as a sacrifice for performing for the purpose of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then in Vishnu Puran it is said that, can somebody read this? Janaki Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam.
This Varnashrama, that one Mataji?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Varnashramacharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnur Aradhyate Pantha Nanyat Tattosha Karanam.
Yes.
Should I read the translation?
Yeah, you can read the translation as well.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, by proper discharge of the principles of Varna and Ashrama. There is no alternative to pacifying the Lord by execution of the principles of the Varnashrama system. Thank you, Mataji.
Very well. So here said you have to do the worship. One of the instruction was worship the Lord. So here Prabhupada is giving a reference from Vishnu Purana, which says that Varnashrama Chara Vata Purushena Para Puman. That is, by proper discharge of your principles of Varna and Ashrama. That is, by the proper discharge of your prescribed duty. You can worship the Supreme Personality. Vishnu Aradayate Panta. You can worship the Supreme Personality by the proper discharge of your prescribed duty. And again, the next line it says that Nanya Tattosha Karanam. There is no other way where you can satisfy the Lord. It is only by the execution of the principles of Varna and Ashrama. It is so important that we have to do our prescribed duty. Why do we do our prescribed duty? Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, it is all about Karma Yoga. It says that don't renounce, right? Because when Arjuna was told that, you give up everything. So what he thought is that to give up all the prescribed duty and go and meditate. So Krishna is educating him. No, give up what he meant is do your prescribed duty, give up the result of the prescribed duty. Do your prescribed, whatever varna and the ashrama you are in, you have to do that sincerely, and that duty you have to do for the pleasure of the Lord. So we will understand a little bit what is this varnashrama system. Okay, so what is varna?
Division,
Varna,
The 4 orders,
division.
prescribed duties for the different people.
Orders of the society.
4 orders of the
Four
ashram.
orders
what are
of
they?
the
Kshatriya, Vaishyas and Shudras.
Okay, and ashrama? The 4
Brahmacharya,
ashrama.
Brahmacharya,
Grahastha,
Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, sannyasa.
sannyasa.
Very good. So who created this
Krishna
varna?
himself.
The Lord created
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Any reference?
Yes, Mataji, Bhagavad Gita.
Chaturvarnyam Maya
Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam Gunakarma Vibhagatah.
Vibhagatah.
Yeah, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam. Guna, Karma, Vibhag. So it is based on your guna and your karma, right? So that is it. So these 4 orders, the social, so 4 orders of the social life is called as varna, and it is arranged for our material progress. And the 4th spiritual order of the ashrama, it is designated for our self-realization. So we see that how varna and ashrama, they are interrelated and dependent. But the purpose why Lord created this varna and ashrama is that so that we say that the Lord is Satchitananand, right? So we are a part and parcel of the Lord. So we also have that transcendental qualities, but because our misunderstanding, because of our ignorance, because of our forgetfulness, we have forgot that the transcendental qualities has to be churned out, right? To accelerate the transcendental qualities of an individual so that we gradually realize what is our spiritual identification, and thus we get free from this material bondage. For that, this varna and ashrama has been created, right? So according to the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it says that as a brahmana, what is his duty? It is to gain knowledge, give knowledge, guidance. Kshatriya, he is the administrator. His duty is Kshatriya. Yeah? His is to he has to protect others, keep them away from the atrocities. That is his protection. Then Vaishyas, their duty is to do business. That is trading, to see that all the commodities that is required for a society, it is their duty to make it available for the society, for the community. And then the Shudra is the less intelligent, and it is their duty to serve the others, right? So so now we see that we cannot classify here, but when we see that there is this classification, even now there are certain class of people who likes to understand the philosophy, who are interested in the spiritualism, the path of spiritualism, right? Then there are some who are more attracted towards administration, the politics, right? Then there are some people who are more interested in doing business, making money, and the others are in doing the work, right? So we see that even we learn about the universal form of the Lord also, we understood that the Brahmanas are situated. Where are the Brahmanas situated? When we describe the universal form of the Lord, the Brahmanas are situated, or they are considered as the
Head.
which part of the
Head.
the head. Kshatriyas are the
Arms.
arms, and the Vaishyas are the
I think belly, stomach.
Belly.
base. Okay, belly, and the Shudras the
Leg.
feet, isn't it? So we understand that the Brahmanas are the head. So if the head is, so for a body to do any activities, all the parts are required, isn't it? So if the head is not there, so will the body exist? No. So we understand, Yeah. So we understand that how important the Brahmanas are in a society. It is their duty that they gain the knowledge and they gain the right knowledge and they pass on to the, and it is under, when we read various stories, right, we see that the king was there, and when a great sage comes, the king comes down, receives him, makes the sage sit on his throne and asks him to give him the advice, right, to how to rule this kingdom. So that is how important is the Brahmana. But now in this present world, there is degradation. There is Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Everybody has become a Shudra over here. So this is our situation that is we are experiencing. So then later on we understand that ashrama. Ashrama means the four orders of life, which is to train. In ashrama, it is basically training. It says it is not that you are born a Brahmana or you are born a. It is by the training. We understood that those who are born in a Brahmana family, if they do not exhibit the qualities of a Brahmana, then they are called as
Shudras.
Shudras, Madhu.
Ashwatthama was addressed as this, as
Brahmana Bandhu.
Bandhu Mataji. Brahma Bandhu.
Brahma Bandhu. Yeah. You are born in a Brahmana family, you have got all the facilities to become a Brahmana. But if you do not exhibit that, then you are just a relative of that Brahmana. Right? So we understand that first in the ashrama, we have the Brahmachari ashram. So it is said that when a child reaches 5 years of age, he should be sent to a Gurukula. And there he should serve the Guru. He should learn to serve even the menial work that is being told to him. He should do it. The mood a child should develop, that is, when he goes to a Gurukul, he should serve the Guru and then he should be in a surrendered way. Yeah? The verse in Bhagavad Gita 4.34. What does it say?
Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam
Yeah, pariprashnena sevaya. You serve even the menial job you have for the Guru. You have to serve him, and then in a brahmachari life they are given restrictions, right? They are told to why all this is given. Why this training is given is that so that they develop a character, they understand the spiritual need, and then they they can overcome the attachment to material things, and they can accept they should overcome the aversion towards the spiritual path. They should accept the spiritual path, and they should develop an aversion for sense gratification. So from the childhood itself, this culture has to be given to them. So that is why it is said that at the age of 5, the child should be sent to a Gurukul. And when he serves the Guru will understand what is his proclivity, where is he, and then he will guide. You can take up this, you can take up that, which Varna. Okay. And thus it is said that like that, a child from 5 years till the age of 25, he is under the guidance of a Guru. And then afterwards he can decide, right? Because he has been trained. He has been trained, so he can decide whether he can continue with this or he still has some desire. If he has the desire, he take up the Grahastha ashram, then the Vanaprastha and the Sannyasa. So it is said that this Brahmachari, it is the basic. It is the basic for all the ashramas. So even this Brahmachari, when he becomes a Grahastha, he has understood the absolute. He has understood the importance of the spiritual life, the absolute truth, and he has control over his senses. That he has developed a character, right? So even in a Grahastha life, though he is what do you call, in the process of sense enjoyment, but it is restricted. He knows his responsibility that as a grahastha, it is my duty to support the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, right? And then after he does not, and then he does not stick along with the grahastha life also. When he reaches the age of 50, when he is relieved from his responsibility, he takes up vanaprastha. And even in the vanaprastha, he understands his responsibility, that the knowledge which he has gained, it is time for it to give it to others. He involves himself with preaching, and then the sannyasa. So we understand that how the varnashrama system is so very important. So going back to our verse, here we say that, so we see that doing all this, following our prescribed duty, but our ultimate aim in whatever ashrama we are, whatever varna we have, but whatever activities we do, it should be Vishnu worship, should be the ultimate aim of our life. Our responsibility should be to satisfy the Supreme Personality. And what is the stepping stone to it? It is the Varnashrama system, the systematic institution to serve the Lord. So here, however, if one directly engages in the process of devotional service to the Supreme Personality, it may not be necessary to undergo the disciplinary system of Varnashrama system. This is, the example is Kumara, right? Because he went for a higher cause. That is it. But for us, no. This is for the Kumara. And another example also, it says that Uttanapad also, Swayambhuva Manu's son, Uttanapad. When, as a father, it is our responsibility that we have to get our children to Krishna consciousness. And when the children comes to an age of marriageable age, we have to get them married. We have to. So when Dhruva Maharaj came back from his meditation, right, when he has realized the absolute truth, and then later on when he was capable enough to look after the kingdom, Uttanapada left the kingdom and went for Vanaprastha. So here, there also in the fourth canto, it is said that because though as a father he had a responsibility, but still that is accepted because he went for a higher cause. But for us in this age, now the Varnashrama system, everything is declining. So for us, what is the prescribed is we have to follow the regulative principles, the four regulative principles, which are, what are the four regulative principles that we should follow?
No meat eating, no
No
intoxication.
meeting, no gambling, no illicit selling.
What is the need of following this four regulative principle?
For dharma, four legs.
Mataji, the four pillars of Dharma, yeah.
Yeah, they are the
It's
four
a kind
pillars
of
of the.
austerity which we can
Yeah.
follow to
Also, cleanliness.
stepping stone in our spiritual life, Mataji.
Yes, to bring us to the platform of a human being, right? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, this even the animals do, isn't it? Right? So there should be some restriction. We are human beings given the power to think over, ponder over, right? So we, to bring us, there should be some restriction. We should understand that what is good and what is bad. So these regulative principles are there to bring us to the human platform. And for us in this age of Kali, the prescribed is the Sankirtan. That is the worship, sacrifice that is prescribed to us, to chant the holy names and then to engage us in the devotional service. So here we understand that in this verse, Lord Brahma gave Swayambhuva Manu three instructions. What were those three instructions? Hare Krishna. Three instructions were given to Swayambhuva Manu.
You rule the world,
Hare Krishna. To beget
But
children
pardon,
qualified.
Mataji,
One by
and
one. Yes, Divya Mataji. One by one.
to rule the world, but do the devotional service, Mataji.
Okay, okay, that was the first instruction. Second instruction. What was the first instruction? Sudha Mataji?
It was Mataji to the children should be in the principles of devotional service, and by sacrifices they should worship the Supreme Personality of
Yeah.
Godhead.
Yeah, to beget the children as qualified as yourself. And then the third instruction was, it is there in the translation. It's on the screen.
Worship
Yes,
the Lord
worship the Lord by performances of yajna.
Yeah. So these are the three instructions. And how do we take up this instruction? It is our duty to engage ourselves in devotional service and to engage our children in the devotional service, rule the world. As a king, it was his duty, but it is our duty to do our prescribed duty, to follow the regulative principles, to chant the holy name, to do the devotional service, right? To worship the Lord by the performance of yajna. For us, it is the devotional service. Further, we go ahead. Then, further, Lord Brahma says, yes, somebody can take up this verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Param Shushushanam Madhyam Syat Praja Rakshaya Nipa Bhagavam Ste Praja Bhartur Rishi Kesho Anutushyati. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, one question. Why the Sanskrit verse is different than the English verse here, Mataji? If you scroll a
Yes,
little.
Mataji. Yeah.
Yes, I also noticed, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. There is maybe typing error, we can say.
Okay.
Yes, the translation.
Hare Krishna, translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O King, if you can have proper protection to the living beings in the material world, that will be the best service for me. When the Supreme Lord sees you to be a good protector of the conditioned souls, certainly the master of the senses will be very pleased with you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he is telling that, O Nripa, O King, you are the protector, you are the Praja Rakshaya. You are the Praja Rakshaya. So how is he protecting his Praja? How can a king protect his Praja? The best way he can protect the Praja?
Through the Varnashrama system only, right?
Yes.
And making sure that they are spiritually inclined.
Yes. So you have to give them best protection for the living being in the material world. That will be the best service. He is telling that you give them the best protection, and the giving them the best protection will be the best service you will do to me. And how can you give the best protection is that dovetailing them to Krishna consciousness. And when you do that, when you give them the best protection, that is the best service you do. And when you do that, you are actually pleasing me. This is what Brahma. So we can understand that as a king. We have read through the pages, from Canto 1, Canto 2, various kings. One of the best example given was of Yudhishthir Maharaj, isn't it? We understood that how Yudhishthir Maharaj, it was the desire of the Lord that he should be the king. And then it was also the desire of the Lord that he take instructions of the administration from Bhishma Pitama. And Bhishma Pitama gave him various instructions about the Raja Dharma, then the Sri Dharma, the Dana Dharma, all the dharmas he gave. And based on that principle, for him, when he sees that the Praja means it is not just the human beings, it is each and every living entity of his kingdom, be it the animals, be it the plants, be it the aquatics. Everybody of that kingdom is his Praja, of the universe is his Praja. So it was his duty to protect all of them. And how can he, and for that protection, he had to do various sacrifices. And to do that various sacrifices, the kings would collect taxes. And very readily the Praja would give them the taxes. It is not only the human beings that would give them the taxes. It is said that the plants, the oceans, the animals, everybody was so happy that the cows, they were so happy with the king and his rule, that in that happiness, the cow would automatically, there was no milkman required to milk the cow. It would just flow from his udder. The oceans were rich with gems, pearls, right? And the mountains, they were full of various types of herbs and minerals, very rich in the resources. The plants, they were laden with various types of fruits and crops, right? So this is how they are also reciprocating with the nature, is also reciprocating with the king and helping him for his administration. That is the quality of a real ruler. So here Prabhupada says that Brahma is the representative of the Supreme Personality and Manu is the representative of Brahma, right? Similarly, all the kings, Manu is the first king. So all the kings, that is all the rulers who come under, they are the representative of Manu. And for this entire society, the Manu Samhita has been made. And this, if you follow this Manu Samhita, because the instruction given is, it is directing us towards the transcendental service of the Lord. So this is the process that has been mentioned. But now we see over a period of time, this is declining. The ruler comes, there is always a fight for the post, isn't it? Everybody is fighting for the post because they want to enjoy. They do not care for the praja. That is the downfall of the society. And as I said that, it is the responsibility of the king, not only collecting taxes. Why is he collecting taxes? To do various sacrifices. And all the sacrifices are dovetailed towards the worship of Krishna. And thus, when he is satisfied, the purpose of his being the king is also fulfilled, of the administration is also fulfilled. So one who knows this secret, as disclosed here in the version of Brahma, is the perfect administrative head. So here we see the instruction given by Brahma is how to rule the world and how to direct the citizens in the worship of the Lord, and that is the best service. So as we in this material world, whatever we do, whatever activities we do, whatever services we do, it should be for the pleasure of the Lord. So by training the citizens in the devotional service of the Lord, the head of the state can be free from his responsibilities. It is said, no, yagnartam yagnartat karmana
anyatra lokoyam
karma bandhana. Do every activities for the pleasure of the Lord. Otherwise, it will get in material bondage. So here, as a king, it is his responsibility to deliver the citizen. Thus, he becomes free from his responsibility. Otherwise, what happens? He will fail in his wondrous duty entrusted to him, and thus he is punishable by the supreme authority. If we do not do our activity for the service of the Lord, if we do it for our sense pleasure, what is the punishment we get is?
Cycle of birth and death.
Birth. We are again in this cycle of birth and death. This is what we have to understand with our respect. Okay, we go ahead with the 13th instruction. Yes, one of you all can take this verse. Hindu Mataji can recite.
Yes, Mataji. Pranam Mataji. Esham na tushto Bhagavan yajnalingo janardanaha tesham shamo hi apartaya yad atma nadrita swayam.
Yatatma nadrita swayam. So here it says Yesham na tushto Bhagavan yagna lingo janardana. The Lord will not be na tushto. The Lord will not be happy if all the activities are not directed to the Bhagavan, who is Yagna Lingo Janardana. He is the Bhoktaram. He is the enjoyer. He is the controller. He is the protector. So all the activities which you do, it should be for for the pleasure of the Lord. If you do not do that, then teshan shramohi aparthaya. It is just waste of time. Shrama eva hi kevalam. And by doing so, yad atma na dhrita swayam. Neither you are pleasing, satisfying him, and as a result, you are neglecting your own interest. What should be our interest in this material world?
Serving,
To serve the
To
Lord.
do the devotional
Why have
service.
we to serve the Lord?
to please
Because
Krishna,
we are the eternal
Yes.
servant of the Lord.
to go back home, back to Godhead.
Yes. We are the eternal servant, and serving him, we have to go back to Godhead. So that should be our interest. So for that interest, we have to satisfy the Lord. If we do not satisfy the Lord, whatever activities we do, whatever technology, whatever advancement we do, it is considered to be as futile. Right? So whatever we do, because the Lord is Janardana, he is the form that has come to accept all our sacrifices, the result of all our sacrifices. Our duty is to do the sacrifices, and the result of our sacrifices, we have to offer it to him to attract his mercy, right? And thus satisfying him, we can go back to Godhead. That is what this verse says. So here we say that Brahma is the supreme head to carry out this universal affair. And then Brahma, he deputes Manu. So, and he deputes Manu and he tells him the various ways to satisfy the supreme personality of Godhead. When Brahma knows how to satisfy, similarly, all the people in line of Brahma will know what are the activities, how to satisfy the Lord. Therefore, it shows that when we take up a guru, it should be in the parampara, because that guru follows the earlier acharyas, and thus because when the guru understands, the guru is following his acharya, so through the guru we will understand the activities which has been given in our scriptures, and thus will help us to satisfy the Lord and go back to Godhead. The importance of the parampara system. So it is said that if we neglect this process, we should understand that we are neglecting our own interest. Everybody wants to satisfy the senses, but we should understand that these senses, above the senses is our mind. Above the mind is our intelligence. Above the intelligence is the soul, and then the super soul. So, even above the super self is the supreme personality of Godhead, which is the Vishnu Tattva. And this Vishnu Tattva is also a form of the Supreme Lord, who is the cause of all the causes, Sri Krishna. So, the complete process of the perfection that we can achieve is by rendering service to Krishna for the satisfaction of the transcendental service of Lord, who is also known as Janardana. So we understood these three verses.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, then let us have a short summary of these three verses, because in these 5 verses which has been given to me, these 3 verses are very important. The instructions given by Lord Brahma to Swayambhuva Manu. We can relate that to us also. So what was the first 3 instructions? And anybody in short can summarize it.
To beget the children as qualified as himself, as the Manu, Mataji. That is the first instruction.
First instruction. Second?
Worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
That's the last
One more.
one. Second one.
To engage the children in the devotional service.
That is the first, to get the children and get your quality. Yes, that we finished. Then the prescribed duty. As a king, what he should do?
Rule the country.
Yes.
Perform
You
the
do that
sacrifices,
service to
Mataji.
the Praja.
In pursuance to devotional service. So that was what was told in the first verse. So from that we understand that we have to do our prescribed duty. All our duty should be dovetailed to please the Lord. And in the second verse, 12th verse, what does it say? What is the best service that we can do?
Of proper protection to the living beings.
Devotion service to the Lord, which
Dovetail
takes the
them,
praja to the back to God.
dovetail them to Krishna service.
Yeah. So whatever we do, activities we do,
Whatever
it should not be for the pleasure of our senses. All our activities should be for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Here, as a king, it is his duty to guide everyone. So that is why we have the Varnashrama system, right? Everybody is pleased with their work, and then they can concentrate on to the, and simultaneously they can take up the spiritual life. And then third verse says that if you do not follow this path, if you do not do your activities for the pleasure of the Lord, then what is it? The time and whatever
Material
you do,
bondage.
yeah, it is
Material
Shama eva hi kevalam. It is just waste of time. So later on, after giving this instruction, Manu speaks. Yes. Now Kishori Mataji, you can take up the verse.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, Mataji. Mataji, can you please scroll down? I like to read in Sanskrit, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Manuruvacha adesheham bhagavato varteyami vasudana sanam stivva nujanihi prajanam mama cha prabho. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Those who have not read can take up the translation.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandat Pranam.
Mataji, I have read already. If
Yes.
someone wants to read, they can go ahead. Krishnamurti Prabhuji or Archana Mataji, I think they can go ahead.
I read Mataji translation.
Yes, Prabhu.
Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Manu said, O all-powerful Lord, O killer of all sins, I shall abide by your order. Now please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, he says that you are the killer of all the sins, right? He is the Shuddham, Sattvam. This knowledge which is given to us, the transcendental knowledge, will help us to purify all our sinful activities. Thus praising, he says that now I will abide by your orders. The orders which you have given to me, I will follow it. But let me, where should I go? Now he gave the instructions, right? Then he's telling, now you go and rule, but I need a place, right? Planet where I can rule. So he's telling, he's asking, please let me know that place, that where I should go and where the living entities are to be born. Further, 15th verse.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Pranams, Mataji. Yadbhuta sarvabhutanam mahimagna mahamrasi asya udharane yatna jeva devya vidiyata.
Translation.
Hare
Sharmila
Krishna.
Mataji.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Master of the demigods, please attempt to lift the earth which is merged in the great water, because it is the dwelling place for all the living entities. It can be done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And one more hand is raised. Yeah, Shubhara Prabhu, you can read. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam.
By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great water mentioned in this connection is the Garbhodaka ocean, which fills half of the universe.
Very good. So we see that when the creation was in the creation, the material world, and then into it, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Garbhodakshai Vishnu is the Paramatma for the individual universe. And then he did not find any place, so he filled it with his own sweat, the Garbha ocean. And that's the creation started, right? So it is said that Manu, when he came, he asked, show me the place show the planet where I should rule as per your instruction. I do not find it. Then he says that, oh, the master of the demigods, the planet, which is the earth, which you have told me, it is round. So actually this is coming line so that further verses we can understand the appearance of the another form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord Varaha. So he is asking that, so please lift the earth which has submerged into the water. So it is here in the purport Prabhupada says that it is submerged in the Garbhodaka ocean, which fills half of the universe. So in the next verses we can read about the appearance of Varaha. So this is all about the 5 verses which I have covered, which tells us that we have to take up the spiritual, whatever activities we do, we should do it for the pleasure of the Lord. It is our responsibility is to do prescribed duty. Only by doing our prescribed duty results in our purification. Then the devotional service is for us, we are following the sadhana bhakti, the Vaidehi bhakti, right? The following the 4 regulative principles, chanting of the holy name, doing the devotional service. And our responsibility is to guide our children to take up Krishna consciousness and doing all our activities for the service of the Lord, in the service of the Lord, for His satisfaction and not for our sense gratification. Doing devotional service in the mode of passion is not good. We should do it not for even when we do devotional service, that passion to do to please the Lord, not to please ourselves, not in a competitive mode. And if we do any activities not for the Lord, then it is Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam. So these are the few points which we have, the takeaway points from these few verses. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. If there are any questions, we can go ahead, or else.
Hare Krishna Mataji, small Mataji. This
Yes,
Manu, was Manu has told to the Brahma has told to Manu. Nowadays, just 2 days back, I heard a debate in Parliament in Delhi. They have used the word Manu Samhita.
Yes.
What is that politician? He might have not gone through this detail about the Manu. What Brahma has told to Manu. Just he picked up a very small regarding Varnashrama. He is talking like anything. So nowadays, the people who are in the position, they were misusing these scriptures, what has told in the Puranas. So the politicians, they themselves taking the people to the wrong way. If that man studied this detailed, definitely he might have shut down and he can't, he may not open his mouth at all. I think, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that is why Prabhupada has started the ISKCON society, the Brahmanas. We see our sannyasis going around preaching. That is the responsibility that we have to make the people. See, whenever there is any, even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, during the time when Prabhupada came into this cult of Krishna consciousness, that time we were under the rule of British. So much of turmoil going on. But even then, when his friend took him over there, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura told Srila Prabhupada that yes, the only solution is to take up spirituality. Right? And then he understood and immediately he gave up. Otherwise, he was a very great Gandhian, follower of Gandhi. Right? But then later on he understood because his guru guided him the right way. And then Srila Prabhupada also took up the responsibility. When he came along with his disciples to Calcutta, that time there was so much unrest in Calcutta, politically, even otherwise also. So the interviewer asked, from the news, they asked Prabhupada, what does your spirituality says to the present problem? So he says that the only solution is to chant the holy name, to understand our scriptures. Because the main thing here is everybody wants the post, everybody wants to be the leader. That is the misconception. That is what it is saying. That is the ignorance which we are in. So if we come with the bhava that we are the servant, then all these problems will be solved. That is the downfall. So we have all, so whatever little bit we know, we should tell it to others. It says, right, we have to take up the responsibility of preaching the right knowledge to others.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Shubhara Prabhu, is there anything you want to add, or you have raised your hand?
Nothing, Mataji.
Okay,
This
to
is
read.
Manu thing. Manu is questioning God, na Mataji, the last sloka. Is it Manu
He's
praying or Brahma is praying that?
No. The second two verses is Manu, because after receiving the instructions, he said that, okay, you go and rule. So he wants the planet, right? He looked around. He did not find that planet. Right. So he saw that it was drowned in the Garbha ocean. So he is requesting Lord Brahma that the planet which you have told has drowned, so help in lifting it up.
So is he reporting back to Brahma or is he directly praying
That
to
is what it
Vishnu?
says. Oh, master of the demigods.
Master of demigods means who is master of demigods?
Lord Brahma.
Okay, right. Hare Krishna.
This is the conversation between Lord Brahma and Manu, Swambhuva Manu.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
earlier,
Only that final sloka I got it out, Mataji. When he is addressing, because the person who is capable of lifting is only Vishnu. That's what I thought.
So he is requesting him, you know. So then further verses we will understand.
Hare Krishna.
All these verses lead to the appearance of Varahadev.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. If we are done, any more questions? If not, then we can end the session.
Yes, Mataji. Very
Hare
well. Clearly, you have explained everything, Mataji. Maybe we'll never forget these verses. And so many takeaway points today. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, all mercies of the Association of the Devotees. Thank you so much. Panchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhye vachanapatitana pavane Vaishnavebhyo Ananta Koti
Vaishnavi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Pranams.
Danvat Pranam.
Pranams. I'll end the session with your permission. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank